name was Mary Ultowski. When I came to Susquehanna, it was DeVoe.
What year was that?
And 1972 is when I graduated. So I started in 1968.
What have you brought to the Harvest today?
I brought my gym sweatshirt. Still fits me. Like I said, it doesn't fit over my belly anymore. But this is what we all had to take gym class, and this is what you took. And it was a very, very old gym. As a matter of fact, when they played basketball, I didn't play in our gym. I used to have to go to the high school to play their basketball games because the gym was so small.
Did you have a gym uniform, or you just wore that?
I can't remember that part, but anyway, that's what I saved up, all my stuff. That's the one thing I have that's, 1968, it's almost 50 years old, huh?
Did you do any sports?
No, I was a music major, so
Oh.
I spent all my time either practicing the piano, playing the clarinet, taking voice lessons, or learning all the instruments.
So why was that the only thing that you kept from Susquehanna?
Probably, I have a dink. No, that's another disgusting thing. You know, and back then, when you were a freshman, you had to wear a hat. This purple, ugly hat.
What?
So that everybody knew that you were a freshman. That was, when you think about it, that's a little disgusting. It really was bad. So, you know, people, they'd make, and if they saw that you had this hat on, they would haze you. When this is back in the 60s, that was a big deal. If they saw you had a hat, they'd make you stop and sing the school song. And you had to wear that for like a couple months, and then eventually I think we were allowed to put it away. So that was, you have to understand, 68 was like the cusp of an interesting college tradition. And we were like almost to the breaking point. By the time I was the midpoint of my existence, we could actually go visit somebody that was of the opposite sex in their room. I mean, just think about this. Prior to us, a guy wanted to come visit you, he would go to Cyber and stand at the bottom of the stairs, and the housewoman, master or lady would allow him to come. They'd wait, and they'd have, you know. So we were at the cusp of all the changes that came to allow what you have today. And it was also during the Vietnam War that I came, so there was a lot of protesting. There was a lot of work on equal rights at that point. It was a huge transition period in social and all kinds of things in terms of war and race. It was a big transition time.
So what kind of events, what kind of stuff was happening around campus due to the Vietnam War? Like were there actual protests on this campus?
There were student groups to protest the war, and there were, I think there were a beginning of some organizations. We had very few black students at the time, and but I think that there were organizations here that they were able to get together and sort of work on things because of the nature of the campus was so predominantly white. But I think that was just the beginning of all that too.
Was it pretty chaotic on like during
On
the
our
2 years
campus, no, but mostly around us there were, in the world. But our campus was pretty quiet. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to go back to this hat thing because I had no idea this was ever a thing. So you were given this hat by who?
There, and I had it upstairs in my attic. I found it. It was called a dink. It was just they called it a dink. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, but yeah, and so if you think about it, it was like being hazed. It was being hazed because you were a freshman.
Okay, so you had to wear it.
Yes.
And like if you did not wear it.
I don't know what would happen if we didn't wear it, but we did because we were told that's what we had to do. As a matter of fact, my roommate, she's here today. I don't know if she'll come to this part, but she does have pictures of us. You know, like that first day, her mother took pictures of them. She still has these pictures of us. That was so thin then, but anyway, with our dinks on, you know. And I think that was too bad I didn't bring that. It's too bad. I just to go back to the attic. I found it in the attic. It's too bad for you. Oh well. If I ever come back to another history thing, I'll bring it.
So was it like in your welcome to Susquehanna bag? Like here's your dinks.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, when we came, there weren't like a zillion people helping you move in like there are now. That's a really nice feature. Yeah.
Let's see. Have there been other pretty memorable things from your time at Susquehanna, other than the Dink and the Vietnam War?
Like I told you, it was a huge period of transition, and I think that's really, really interesting in terms of, you talk 50s, it was Rob Wright kind of thing. I don't know, you probably have no idea, but there's a whole era of this whole college thing. If you look at the old pictures of the 50s and stuff, but like we were like I said, right at that transition period. So different. My daughters came to Susquehanna. So one graduated in 2000, the other graduated in 2003. And it was so different to see what my experience was compared to what their experience was. But, Cyber was very, very old. It was almost like, it was like a big wooden, huge, it was very, very old. We had suites up there, not like they are now. They were very old and decrepit. You had these big old tables and stuff, and I remember. I took math because they had to take either math or science. Our suite mates took bio. And I remember them putting their fetal pig in our bathtub. Thank you very much. Because they were studying their fetal pig for their finals. So they kept the fetal pig in the bathtub so they could study it.
They had a live pig?
No, a fetal pig, all formaldehyde. They were studying the fetal pig, so they had the formaldehyde pig in the bathtub so they could study it.
How smoking was a live one.
Yeah. Back in that time, never my room, but guys would come through and do panty raids, what they called. Yeah, you heard about that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other things that... I remember a lot of nights. I remember some wonderful things in the fall. Sometimes we would just go out into this field in here and just have some nice touch football games, just, to release steam. And across that way was just all cornfields. And they knocked down all the university houses, but my senior year I stayed in a little house on the avenue. It was nice because I had my own little room and we had a little kitchen. I remember we would go over and get a couple of corn stalks. People would decorate the little houses that they stayed in, which was a lot of fun. Good memories. 1970, we took a band trip to Europe, band and choir, 4 weeks. We toured 7 countries, and it only cost $750 for everything. We played in courtyards, played in Venice. We went, and every place we went, we were played in a lot of beautiful churches. We'd always play the national anthem of the country we were at, and plus our own national anthem. And we had some wonderful music. We had an incredible time. And then the last thing they did, we went to Holland and Amsterdam. I remember going to the Anne Frank house, which I will never forget. And then we played in a band competition and came home. But that was an incredible experience, and I'll never forget it.
Out of all the buildings on campus, that are still here from your time, which one would you say has changed the most?
Well, as a music major, we spent the majority of our time in Heilman, which is now the Cunningham Music Center, which is totally different, hugely different.
Is it the same building, or is it just?
It's in the same spot, and I think they must have. They expanded it probably 4 times this area, and I think that they changed the outside and everything, but it's in the same spot. Yeah, we used to do, we would have to do a piano test. So we had to take two years of piano. Everybody had to take 2 years of piano, whether you're a piano, piano lecture. Well, everybody had to be able to pass their piano test to be able to get their degree in education, piano and voice. And so one of the things we had to do was be able to play the Star Spangled Banner from memory. So the story I hear is that they had, because they had their studios and the windows were open, and somebody was there playing their Star Spangled Banner for their piano test, or maybe getting ready for it. And one of their friends was hiding out in the bushes with a pair of cymbals. And there's a place in the national anthem where when you play a band arrangement, I can't remember exactly which part it was, but there's a big cymbal crash. The poor kid's playing there on the piano and doing his piano test, his friend's out in the bushes, and all of a sudden, and I guess at that point you hear a crash from outside, right? But I guess when you were a music major, you had to do something for fun, right?
Sounds like fun.